alarmingly high salt content. A single serving can easily exceed half the daily recommended intake of sodium. This surplus encourages fluid retention, leading to swollen, aching legs. Furthermore, it elevates blood pressure, impeding efficient blood flow to the muscles. Poor circulation deprives muscle tissue of vital nourishment, causing it to weaken and recover more slowly after exertion. The chemical additives lurking within the flavor packets are another cause for alarm. Preservatives, artificial colors, and monosodium glutamate have all been linked to chronic inflammatory processes. Even at low levels, these inflammations can compromise joint function and accelerate muscle deterioration, leading to increased discomfort, stiffness, and limitations in everyday movement. The impact on metabolism is equally significant. The lack of fiber raises the glycemic index of the noodles, causing rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. This glycemic instability disrupts insulin activity, hindering the muscle's ability to efficiently utilize energy. When muscles are deprived of adequate energy, they weaken and fatigue rapidly, transforming a simple walk to the store into a grueling ordeal. And what about those industrially made cakes that beckon with the promise of youthful indulgence, despite concealing ingredients that pose a significant threat to leg health, particularly in later years? Laden with processed sugar, hydrogenated fats, and synthetic preservatives, they wreak havoc on metabolism and inflame the body. The excessive sugar disrupts insulin function and promotes the accumulation of body fat, contributing to overweight and creating a metabolic environment hostile to muscle strength. The presence of trans fats, added to enhance flavor and extend shelf life, further compromises blood flow by lowering good cholesterol and raising bad cholesterol. This impaired circulation starves leg muscles of essential nutrients, leading to their decline. Over the long term, this can manifest as loss of lean mass, joint stiffness, and potential mobility issues. Regular consumption of these cakes is also associated with persistent inflammation, a key instigator of muscle weakness and joint pain. Emulsifiers, stabilizers, and artificial dyes can trigger inflammatory responses, primarily affecting the leg joints. The result is increased discomfort, reduced mobility, and a cycle of inactivity that accelerates muscle loss. While undeniably delicious, these cakes offer minimal nutritional value. They are calorie-dense yet devoid of essential nutrients like proteins, calcium, and magnesium, all vital for muscle and bone health. Relying on them for sustenance is akin to fueling your body with tainted gasoline. The muscles, acting as the engine, respond with faltering performance, fatigue, and sluggishness. Often, the allure of convenience leads to impulsive dietary choices. Yet, crafting homemade cakes using whole flours, fruits, and natural oils can be just as practical as purchasing a ready-made product. The crucial difference lies in the long-term impact on your body. As you retrain your palate, your muscles will reward you with increased strength, vitality, and resilience. Then there are the ultra-processed cheeses, spreads, processed slices, and melted varieties that, despite their convenience and appealing taste, harbor significant risks for individuals seeking to maintain leg strength after 60. High in sodium and saturated fat, these foods deliver a double blow to the muscular and vascular systems. Sodium promotes fluid retention and elevates blood pressure, while saturated fat compromises the elasticity of blood vessels, hindering circulation. This combination leaves legs feeling bloated, uncomfortable, and heavy. Moreover, ultra-processed cheeses often contain preservatives and phosphates that disrupt the body's mineral balance. Calcium and magnesium, two minerals essential for muscle contraction and bone health, are directly affected. Impaired absorption of these minerals can manifest as muscle fatigue, joint pain, and even nighttime cramps. The leg muscles, being large and heavily used, are often the first to exhibit these warning signs. Another critical factor is the lack of high-quality protein in these cheeses. Unlike artisanal cheeses, which retain a greater portion of their nutritional profile, Ultra-processed varieties undergo industrial processes that diminish their nutritional density. This means that while you may be consuming calories, your body isn't receiving the amino acids necessary to sustain muscle mass. Muscle loss is a leading cause of functional decline and dependency as we age. Have you ever noticed that feeling of heaviness and lethargy after consuming a meal rich in processed foods? This is a genuine sensation, stemming from the demineralizing and inflammatory effects of these items. Over time, the absence of essential nutrients contributes to bone weakness and diminished muscle performance. Short walks become more strenuous, and seemingly effortless steps transform into obstacles. All of this can be traced back to the type of cheese on your toast. A proactive step towards preserving health is to replace these items with fresher, less processed cheeses such as ricotta, cottage cheese, or mozzarella. And remember, we're approaching the most significant discovery of this film. Still to come are the two worst vitamins for your legs. Even though they pose a great danger to leg health after 60, industrial ice creams are among the most popular dishes on hot days or as a dessert. These items are very caloric and inflammatory since they contain saturated fats with significant levels of refined sugar. This kind of diet causes increases in blood sugar, then rapid drops that endanger the muscular energy stability. Okay, Dr. Anya Sharma cleared her throat, adjusting her glasses. Now where were we? Ah, yes, the insidious world of treats that betray us. This next revelation might sting a bit, folks, especially if you're a fan of a certain type of cookie. Filled cookies and processed snacks, seemingly harmless indulgences, can actually accelerate the loss of leg strength, particularly after 60. Think of them as little saboteurs, loaded with artificial dyes, flavorings that don't taste like anything real, preservatives, and stabilizers. It's a veritable chemical cocktail that not only inflames the body, but also puts immense strain on the liver and kidneys. This, in turn, disrupts circulation and the absorption of vital nutrients, the very building blocks our muscles desperately need. These tempting morsels are nutritional black holes, packed with calories but devoid of real substance. No minerals, negligible protein, barely any fiber. It's a disastrous equation, especially for seniors. The body's ability to store and utilize nutrients diminishes with age, making a nutrient-rich, functional diet absolutely essential to combat the natural decline in muscle mass. Loading up on sugar, hydrogenated fats, and salt only speeds up the process. And let's talk about those trans fats, the kind lurking in many processed goodies. They're major players in the inflammatory game, wreaking havoc within our bodies. The damage they cause can linger, subtly undermining leg strength with each bite. Okay, here's the rewritten passage, maintaining continuity with the previous segment and adhering to all specified requirements. Modern diets are rife with synthetic fats, those insidious culprits that don't just clog arteries, but also choke off the vital flow of oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to our muscles. This starvation of the leg muscles manifests as a creeping discomfort, a weariness that settles deep, and sometimes, a disconcerting unsteadiness in your stride. It's a fragility that sneaks up on you, almost imperceptibly at first. And let's not forget the sodium overload in these processed meals, a major contributor to fluid retention, turning your lower limbs into swollen, heavy burdens. These puffy legs are a glaring red flag, a sign that something's amiss. Combine this dietary assault with compromised circulation, and you've created the perfect breeding ground for varicose veins, those chronic aches that become your constant companions, and that leaden feeling that weighs you down with every step. All this from seemingly harmless appetizers, those tempting little devils in disguise. These snacks and cookies are masters of deception, spiking your glucose levels only to send them crashing down moments later, leaving you depleted, craving more, and trapped in a vicious cycle. This endless loop saps your muscular energy and fuels weight gain. The more you lean on these synthetic creations, the more your ability to maintain strong, healthy, and functional legs in your daily life diminishes. Switching to natural bars can drastically alter this insidious process. Then there's the ubiquitous monosodium glutamate, lurking in everything from ready-made seasonings to instant noodles, meat broths, and a plethora of frozen dinners. It's a flavor enhancer with effects that ripple far beyond the taste buds, particularly for those over 60. This seemingly innocent addition can be particularly detrimental to the leg muscles. Monosodium interferes with the critical neurotransmitters that orchestrate muscle contraction through the neurological system. Those with a heightened sensitivity to this chemical cocktail may experience muscle aches, headaches, a tingling numbness, and an overall sense of exhaustion. When these effects target the legs, they can trigger sensations of heaviness, stiffness, and even subtle tremors. As the body becomes increasingly susceptible to excitotoxic chemicals that damage neurons, the problem escalates with age. Furthermore, monosodium glutamate ignites persistent inflammation throughout the body, targeting joints, muscles, and blood vessels. This inflammation compromises muscular function and circulation in the extremities. Legs starved of oxygen become prime targets for muscular weakness, cramping, and a significant loss of mobility. Many foods loaded with monosodium also pack a sodium punch, exacerbating fluid retention and leg edema. This additive also meddles with energy metabolism, disrupting how muscles consume glucose. This undermines the muscle's ability to convert energy into strength, making even simple tasks like climbing stairs or walking short distances a struggle. Over time, this dietary pattern can lead to muscle mass loss and a dependence on others to perform daily activities. The insidious part is that many people are completely unaware of their daily monosodium intake. Product labels often conceal it under a variety of deceptive aliases, like flavor enhancer, yeast extract, hydrolyzed protein, and other technical phrases designed to mask its true identity. The key is to embrace natural flavors, fresh herbs, garlic, onion, lemon, and olive oil, and banish ultra-processed foods and artificial seasonings from your plate. Now, let's expose the two vitamins that, when taken in excess, can sabotage your leg strength. First, let's talk about excess vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for a host of bodily functions, including vision, immunity, and skin health. However, an overabundance of vitamin A, particularly from supplements, can backfire, leading to a cascade of negative consequences, including those affecting the leg muscles. After 60, the body's ability to metabolize and eliminate excess vitamin A diminishes, increasing the risk of it accumulating in the liver and joints. Muscle discomfort, particularly in the legs and back, is among the most common symptoms of hypervitaminosis a condition caused by excessive vitamin A, which inflames muscle tissues. This discomfort can easily be mistaken for joint or spinal problems. Beyond the pain, telltale signs that your nutritional balance is off-kilter include muscle weakness, difficulty climbing stairs, struggling to walk, or finding it hard to rise from a prolonged sitting position. Too much vitamin A can also interfere with the absorption of other critical minerals, such as magnesium and calcium. Without these minerals, muscles can't contract and relax properly, predisposing you to fatigue, spasms, and cramps in the legs. Furthermore, vitamin A buildup in the liver can impair energy production, further compromising muscular function. The result is a gradual decline in mobility and strength. Excess vitamin A has another insidious effect: bone demineralization, particularly in the legs and hips, the workhorses of your daily life. This weakens the bones and elevates the risk of fractures. For those already grappling with osteopenia or osteoporosis, the impact is even more devastating. Therefore, vitamin A supplements should only be taken under medical supervision and always in carefully regulated doses. Self-medication is one of the primary drivers of these hidden problems. Vitamin A occurs naturally in foods like liver, egg yolk, whole milk, carrots, and pumpkin. A balanced diet typically eliminates the need for supplements. It's the overzealous consumption, particularly from fortified foods or potent supplements, that sets the stage for danger. Therefore, it's crucial to closely monitor your total intake, considering all sources, including multivitamins. Finally, let's discuss vitamin D, often hailed for its role in bone health and immune system function. Vitamin D is especially recommended for the aged, but few people realize that an excess of it can have serious repercussions, even on the legs, usually stemming from excessive supplementation. Hypervitaminosis D results from a buildup of this vitamin in the body. Muscle pain is a key indicator of this imbalance, often accompanied by weakness and a loss of motor coordination. Unlike other vitamins that the body readily excretes, vitamin D is fat-soluble and accumulates in adipose tissues. Excess vitamin D can lead to elevated blood calcium levels, a condition known as hypercalcemia. This manifests as leg stiffness, muscle burning sensations, cramps, joint pain, and other related symptoms. Hypercalcemia directly affects the muscles and nerves, disrupting the electrical impulses that govern body movements. Too much vitamin D can also trigger unnecessary calcification of soft tissues, including muscles and tendons. This means that areas like the knees, calves, and thighs can become stiffer, less flexible, and uncomfortable with exertion. What should be a protective chemical becomes a source of restriction and pain. Elderly adults who take high amounts of vitamin D without medical supervision have a higher risk of experiencing these problems. Another troubling issue arises when excessive vitamin D intake jeopardizes the kidneys, those crucial organs responsible for maintaining the delicate mineral balance within the bloodstream. This renal effect, characterized by impaired filtration and the unwelcome retention of substances, intensifies leg edema, muscular discomfort, and a pervasive feeling of weakness. A vicious cycle begins. More vitamin D, more calcium, diminished kidney function, and escalating muscle problems. Vitamin D supplementation must always be meticulously tailored, guided by lab tests and sound medical advice. What I cannot stress enough is this point. Too many believe that if a little is good, more must be better, and they ingest massive quantities on their own. But excess can be as perilous as deficiency. And concerning the legs, the consequence can be a devastating loss of movement and independence, trapping individuals in a cycle of pain and reduced mobility.